Yo, what's good, everybody? It's DecepySwag. Apparently Mega64 did a collab with SNK. I guess it's like some promotional stuff for Fatal Free Shed Wolves. I don't know what to expect.
Hey, come on! You cannot escape from death.
Oh my god. Hold on, real quick. I gotta admit, it's not that bad as far as like what they got on. It's very funny though. I'm gonna start it over, but it's just, hey, come on, just the way he said it.
Hey, come on! You cannot escape from death.
Oh god. So I'm not too familiar with Mega64, but I do remember those Dragon Ball videos they did. I think the most recent one was like a year ago and stuff. Oh my god. This gives me like Adult Swim type vibes. Really? No, it gives me Filthy Frank vibes.
Terry? I said, are you okay? Terry, you're not Terry.
It's not you. Yo, I bet inside he was happy when that dude asked him that. What?
Okay. Terry?
Terry?
I said, are you okay? Terry, you're not Terry.
When that dude asked him, are you okay? I guarantee in his brain he was like, oh, this is perfect.
I need no help. I will be Terry Bogard myself if it's the last thing I ever do.
Oh my god, this is so it's funny, it's just cringy. It makes me cringe. Like when Filthy Frank would do his public stuff. Oh my god, this is what this reminds me of. He got the gold chain. He's just crawling. Like this is something you would see on like, what's his name? Eric Andre.
No, I'll defeat Terry myself. By my own.
No. I'm sorry, I gotta go back on that one. You need help? You good? No.
No, I'll defeat Terry myself. By my own fist. You cannot defeat.
Oh fuck. Oh man. Yeah, he has a hole in his sock. At first I saw it, I was like, is there a hole in his sock? Is he just falling in front of people? What is this freaky statue in the background? What is that? Wait, what does it say? April 24th, 1925, Geese dies alone on the pavement after falling 48 times from a high rise. The prologue of the newborn legend. There's no way this is supposed to be hint. Oh my god. They gave him the goddamn thriller eyes. The nightmare never ends. Okay, SNK. So, when Rome himself, aka shout out to Rome, big homie Rome, when him, okay, this is the advertisement for the game. Okay, when Rome recently did a stream with the Game Goons, I forget their name, but they were showing off stuff that they got, and on the map, when you take a blue light or whatever light to it, it showed the invisible words, "The nightmare never ends." I want to say his name is Gibby. I'm sorry if I forget everyone's names, but he took a light to it and it revealed the words, "The nightmare never ends." And now we see it here, right? And then during the beta, in the training area on the wall, it had something akin to that as well, with the nightmare, like dream or nightmare stuff. Like it's constantly this motif of the nightmare never ends, like the nightmare is not over. Clearly SNK is like really pushing the narrative or the idea or the notion like Geese some way somehow is gonna, I don't want to say come back to life, I'm not gonna say that, but is involved in some way, shape or form, is involved somehow, like his presence, his being, maybe he does come back to life, maybe he don't, so some way somehow Geese is gonna be prevalent in this game. And the crazy thing is, we don't know in what way, because we don't know really anything about the story at all. Like, of all the things they've talked about, of all the modes and mechanics and characters, this and third, have you ever noticed that the one thing they haven't ever talked about in depth is the story? I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this for like a year plus, that they constantly talk about everything else under the sun except for the story. Every single time they they sidestep those questions real sneakily. Every time they get brought up during interviews, questions, or whatever events, they always sidestep them. So it always made me wonder, like, they must have something like big planned for this story that they just don't even want to talk about, because they've been talking about everything else under the sun except for the story. This video is funny, by the way. Like, big ups to Mega64 for this video. This shit was funny. It was actually funny. It reminded me, and I don't watch them often, but I do remember their Dragon Ball videos, and I remember that those were funny. It reminds me of like 2011 era YouTube with like Filthy Frank and them just doing weird stuff in public and just uncomfortable situations. If you ever watch Filthy Frank and you remember ravioli, what's in the pocket only, you know, brownie points to you. But yeah, this right here, the nightmare never ends, and then they give him the goddamn Michael Jackson Thriller eyes. My theory, if you haven't watched my video on it, you know, check out the video on the YouTube. If you're not subscribed, you know, so do your boy a favor, subscribe to YouTube, you know, shameless plug. But I did a video some months ago on how I would bring Geese back into Fatal Fury. And my theory was, or my idea was, if you ever seen Villain Saga, is that Geese would be like a ghost. We could have Nightmare Geese, but only Rock sees him because of their bloodline, and he would be trying to influence Rock. That was my idea. So that way you still have Geese playable with the whole Nightmare thing. It'll be canon, but it wouldn't be like a situation with Heihachi coming back to life for like the umpteenth time or anything like that, where it don't cheapen his death, that kind of thing. So that was my theory with that. So seeing this now with the Nightmare Never Ends, and that constantly, you ever notice they're saying nightmare specifically they keep using the words nightmare. So I'm thinking that's what they're gonna do. I feel like Geese is gonna stay dead, but the nightmare aspect is gonna play a part. Now, I could be wrong. He could come back to life. We don't know. Again, SNK has been real tight-lipped about it, so we don't know entirely. But yeah, I feel like there's more to this video, or at least this section. Let me not game theory it up. This section is more than just a tee hee ha ha little gag at the end. This is supposed to hint towards other stuff, because again, when the Game Goons in Rome, when they was talking about the stuff and the goodie bag, and they had the Jing scrolls, and then it had like the map of Southtown, and it had took the blue light and it revealed the words, the nightmare never ends, and all this stuff, and it's constantly the motif of nightmare, no Cody Rhodes. Yeah, there's more to this than what meets the eye. But again, shout out to SNK and Mega64. Funny video. As always, we reach that part of the video where I ask you all, what are your thoughts? Do you think Geese is coming back? Did you like the video? Did you think it was funny? Have you watched Mega64 before? And how do you feel about the whole hinting of the nightmare aspect that they keep doing over and over? Do you think it's just coincidence, or do you think there's more to it? Comment down below and I'll try to get back to you. But till next time, I'm DecepySwag. Peace.